Buddhist as a Good Scientist by Venerable Rungruan Papa Saro, Dr. Rungruan Lim Chu Patapa. The origin of Buddhism started with the intention of Buddha to search for the truths of life within nature. On the day of his enlightenment, the Buddha discovered the truths of life within nature, and the way to make an end of suffering in life. So when the Buddha proclaimed the Buddhism to the world, he preached about the truths of life within nature. In principle, the Buddhism is based on facts and science, and the Buddhist science directly follows the footprint of the Buddha, addressing on truths of the Buddhism in four areas. Firstly, in the broadest sense of how to make an end of suffering in life in the knowledge of the life science, then secondly focusing on specific area of how the mind function in the mind science, and thirdly understanding on how the mindfulness functions and the role of mindfulness in managing the mind in the science of mindfulness, and finally contemplating on how wisdom gained in performing an insight observation in the cognitive science. The Buddha declared that his teachings were about the truths of nature, and not being conducted in secret like the mantras as follows.
These three things, monks, are conducted in secret, not openly. What three? Affairs with women, the mantras of the Brahmins, and wrong view. But these three things, monks, shine openly, not in secret. What three? The moon, the sun, and the Dharma, the nature and discipline proclaimed by the Buddha's teachings.
Clearly, the Buddha never promoted the mantra, magic, and considered the mantra as a wrong view as compared like having an affairs with women. During the Buddha time, the Buddha made a strict rule prohibiting a monk to perform any mantra, no matter for what any reason. However, after the Buddha passed away for several hundred years, unfortunately the mantra was mixed into and contaminated the original Buddha's teachings. It is quite annoying that the Buddha tried to teach on the truths of life, but later some people mistakenly putted in the mantra into the Buddha's teachings in favor for the popularity of faith. This is not the way of the Buddha's teachings. Therefore, in having Buddhist studies, it is necessary to be able to distinguish the difference between the decorated teachings from the original Buddha's teachings. We respect the teachings of every masters, but we have to keep the original Buddha's teachings without any distortion. The recent scientific discoveries of the nature of subparticles in quantum physics, the human connectome in neuroscience, the black hole images and Webb telescope images from the deep universe shake our traditional beliefs of personnel God. There is no secret that during the COVID-19 pandemic, it is the medical knowledge on vaccine that saves life of many millions people, not the power of any supernatural power. So does the conflicting war and climate change problems that kills many life and damage many things on earth, also caused by human, not by any spirits at all. People with ignorance on the truths of life within nature is the one who causes all kinds of problems in the world. By revealing all the facts in front of us, it is time to stop hope from some other thing, and begin to resolve the problem by searching for the truths of life and then trying to figure out on how we can live in peace together rightly. As a matter of fact, no one can do any favor to someone without complying with the law of nature, because everyone live under the same law of nature. So it is useless to wait for any miracle, but we have to do it right now. The original Buddha's teachings are about the study of the truths of life within nature, Dharma, like the science that studies on the truths of nature. Typically religion and science are different, but the Buddhism and science share a common goal in searching for the truths of life within nature. It is the truth that we all live together in nature, based on studying on the truths of life within nature, the Dharma, then we can harmonize the world together in peace. The Buddha suggested that a person should follow these four guidelines for living together in peace as follows.
And what is the accomplishment of persistent effort? Hard working. Whatever may be the means by which a family man earns his living, whether by farming, trade, cattle raising, archery or civil service, or by some other craft, he is skillful and diligent. He investigates the appropriate means, and is able to act and arrange everything properly. This is called the accomplishment of persistent effort. And what is the accomplishment of protection? Save the nature. A family man sets up protection and guard over the wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous wealth righteously gained, thinking, how can I prevent kings and bandits from taking this away, fire from burning it, floods from sweeping it off, and unloved heirs from taking it? This is called the accomplishment of protection. And what is good friendship? Networking. In whatever village or town a family man dwells, he associates with householders or their sons, whether young or old, who are of mature virtue, accomplished in faith, moral discipline, generosity, and wisdom. He converses with them and engages in discussions with them. He emulates them in regard to their accomplishment in faith, moral discipline, generosity, and wisdom. This is called good friendship. And what is balanced living? Balancing a living. A family man knows his income and expenditures and leads a balanced life, neither extravagant nor miserly, so that his income exceeds his expenditures rather than the reverse. Just as a goldsmith or his apprentice, holding up a scale, knows, by so much it has dipped down, by so much it has tilted up, so a family man leads a balanced life. The wealth thus amassed has 4 sources of dissipation: womanizing, drunkenness, gambling, and evil friendship. Just as in the case of a tank with 4 inlets and outlets, if one should close the inlets and open the outlets, and there would not be adequate rainfall, a decrease rather than an increase of the water could be expected in the tank. So these 4 things bring about the dissipation of amassed wealth.
In Buddhism, the Buddha reminded us that even when doing any good thing, it is necessary to work hard with good effort, then protecting the outcome with the nature, and building up good friendship with the public, and this is the way to balance the living. This concept of living with others is a universal way of life for everyone in the world. Any Buddhist as a citizen of the world is just like a profession person to accomplish a persistent effect in searching for the truths of life within nature by exploring a study inside the mind, and then gaining insight wisdom to improve the quality of life to make an end of suffering in life and bringing peace to the world. Francisco Varela, as one of founders of the cognitive science, summarizes the Buddhism as follows.
Buddhism is a practice, not a belief, and every Buddhist is, in some way, lay clergy, involved in the way a scientist is involved in his or her work, or in the way a writer's mind is involved in writing, present in the background, at all times. People today have the leisure and sophistication to practice what before was only practical for monks.
In searching for the truths of life within nature, we start with the study for the truths of nature as the concept of element, then studying on how a life interfaces with nature through the 6 sense bases, then studying on how the mind functions in responding to the world in appearing as the varieties of mental phenomena in the mind, then understanding the mind processing of dependent origination. This knowledge unveils the truths of life within nature, that a life is really a natural process of no self, and all problems that we do in the world are due to the misunderstanding of the truths with ignorance, and then leading to a wrong processing of dependent origination, causing unwholesome thought and unwholesome phenomenon of finest defilements, middle defilements, and eventually rough defilements with greed, hatred, and delusion, respective. The goal of Buddhist practice is to discover the truths of life within nature, and to have a real experience on the nature and the origin of the defilements, so that we can learn on how to apply this knowledge to resolve the problems and making an end of all suffering in life correctly. The original Buddhism is based on facts and science, and the Buddhist practice is based on facts and science as well. There is no secret in the Buddhist teachings and the Buddhist practice. The Buddha challenged everyone to investigate on his teachings. The one who sees the Dharma, or the nature, is the person who sees the Buddha, and the one who sees the Buddha is the person who sees the Dharma. And the way to see the Dharma is by performing a Buddhist practice. There is no border line between being a Buddhist and being non-Buddhist. We all share a universe knowledge of mankind together. The convergence of knowledge in Buddhism and modern science will bring a new hope to mankind in bridging the spiritual and material world together. And this is the Buddhist science, the Dharma of the Buddha's teachings.